At a time of deep division in today's society, we must come together for humanity's sake. On Can We Talk 360, we strive to stimulate an authentic conversation on issues that affect all of us in an environment of tolerance. I'm Eugene Pettis, attorney and community servant. Let's discover how there is strength in our differences and an abundance of possibilities when we stand together as one humanity. Welcome to Can We Talk 360's Motivational Moment. I want to briefly address the sounding of the Clarion call. Most significant events in life have a precursor, a forewarning of their arrival. How these events impact us and society is often determined by whether we answer the clarion call. History is replete with examples of the consequences of survival and destruction depending on whether a clear message of needed action was heard and acted upon. American revolutionary Paul Revere. His ride in 1775 to Lexington was intended to inform John Hancock and Samuel Adams that the British assault against the colonists armed in Concord was inevitable. Fortunately, Revere's warning was taken seriously and a plan for Hancock's and Adams' escape was executed. How would history have been written if Hancock and Adams did not escape the British invasion? Remember the October surprise in 1962 when the United States U-2 aircraft took several pictures believed to be sites of nuclear missiles under construction in Cuba. As we now know, the Soviet Union had placed nuclear missiles on the island to deter any future invasion attempts by the U.S. Fortunately, President John F. Kennedy heeded that warning and ordered a blockade of the island, setting off a direct confrontation with the Soviets. And that action prevented the Soviets from having missiles that close to our shores. But not every clarion call has been answered. Oftentimes, this failure has led to devastating results. Perhaps one of the most significant was Pearl Harbor. 2 warnings of approaching Japanese attack planes were ignored. Early morning on December 7, 1941, a Japanese midget sub was spotted and sunk near the entrance of Pearl Harbor. Shortly thereafter, an Army radar station on the North Shore reported the sighting of planes about 50 miles away. That Navy lieutenant in charge believed that they were planes, U.S. planes returning from reconnaissance missions, and the sightings were ignored. Shortly thereafter, we now know one of the most brutal attacks on American soil was carried out. Throughout the history of the United States, there's been a key role of lawyers in society that has been to serve as advocates for justice, protectors of rights, interpreters of the law. As lawyers, we have played a vital role in safeguarding individual rights and liberties as enshrined in the Constitution of the United States and other laws. We have historically taken on cases that challenge injustices such as civil rights violations, discrimination, and wrongful convictions, just to name a few. Lawyers have always been promoters and defenders of the rule of law. Lawyers uphold the rule of law by ensuring that the laws are applied consistently and fairly. I have practiced medical malpractice my entire 39 years of law. As a lawyer representing individuals and families that have been harmed by the care they received, which did not meet the community standards, I have always argued that doctors are supposed to adhere to the Hippocratic Oath, that they first should do no harm. We as lawyers should also stay true to our ethical and professional obligations to serve as the guardians of the Constitution, ensuring that it's upheld and that the individuals can seek justice and redress when their rights are threatened. We in the legal community have heard clarion calls on an impending constitutional crisis that should inspire us to act, not just for the good of our profession, but for society as a whole. We hear on a daily basis First Amendment challenges, challenging the freedom of speech and press, calls for revoking press credentials for certain outlets for reporting the news. We hear Fifth Amendment being under attack by efforts to circumvent challenges related to due process. Habeas corpus is in the news, and that is a legal procedure used to ensure that individuals are not unlawfully detained. It's a fundamental right that requires a person's detention to be reviewed by a court to determine if it's lawful. The emoluments clause. That clause is in Article 1, Section 9 of the United States Constitution. It prohibits anyone holding U.S. office from profiting or accepting titles or gifts from foreign states without congressional consent. We hear all of these challenges to our constitutional existence on a daily basis. What are we going to do about it? Just imagine if Paul Revere and President Kennedy had ignored the clarion calls to take action. Our world would be much different today. How will history remember us, the lawyers of the state of Florida and beyond, as we face pressing issues that impact the profession, but most importantly, our society? Will we ignore these warnings and let our society suffer dire consequences? Or will we find our place in becoming advocates for our Constitution and help defend against any efforts to eliminate the rights that our founding fathers codified to guide us towards a more perfect union? Thank you so much for joining us for Can We Talk 360 Motivational Moment. I ask that you stay tuned for our next Can We Talk podcast, when we're going to interview some experts in the field of artificial intelligence use in the education field. I think it's going to be most interesting and hope that you'll join us. Have a great day.
The law firm of Halitzer, Pedersen Schwam is a proud sponsor of the Can We Talk 360 podcast. Our firm handles medical malpractice, wrongful death, catastrophic personal injury litigation. We pride ourselves in being advocates for justice on behalf of those who have been seriously injured. For decades, we've taken the lead in making your case our priority. It's who we are. It's who we'll always be. Halitzer, Pedersen Schwam. Serious injuries, proven results.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Can We Talk 360. I sincerely hope that you were inspired to seize this moment in time and take real action towards change. Remember, all change begins with a conversation. Be sure to tune in every month for more fascinating discussions and motivational food for the soul. Please share with your friends, family, and colleagues. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Can We Talk 360, and visit us on the web at www.canwetalk360.com.